positions with the United States Embassy, the U.S. Department of State, and they'll say, oh, do you want to go to Thailand and Malaysia? And I go like, wow, yeah, send me there. So I'm very lucky to be able to come to meet you and work with you on how to teach English more effectively and find out what you do here. I'm sure that you do a lot of things that are very important and very exciting. So maybe you're wondering, sometimes people have an impression of people in America and they say American people look like this or they look like that. Well, I look like me, okay? So I just want to let you know a little bit about my heritage. You see there's me at the bottom right there. Well, there's my mother and father. Both of them were born in San Francisco. So born and raised in San Francisco. My father's father was born and raised in San Francisco. And he also graduated from Stanford University. My father's father's father, and my father's 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 father. That's a long time ago. Where did that guy come from? He came from China. So I'm heritage Chinese, right? I'm an ethnic Chinese. Are any of you Chinese? Any Chinese people here? Yeah, hello, ne hao ma. Okay, so my heritage is Chinese, but as you can see, my family has been in California for generations and generations. And most people my age, oh, no. Most people of my generation don't speak any Chinese. Even the second generation, they probably don't speak much Chinese either. Maybe they can understand some, but they don't, they go to school in English. All of our schools are in English. So, but me, I enjoy learning other languages. So I had to learn Chinese. I had to go to school to learn Chinese, right? Not like you. A lot of people here, well, early on. I mean, I learned at a later age. After I had already learned French and Italian and Spanish, I said, oh, maybe I should learn my heritage language. So I learned Cantonese first because my family comes from southern China, Guangzhou, so that's what I decided I would learn. And then I said, well, what I really need to know more is Mandarin, the Putonghua, because this is spoken more widely. So that's a really good thing. So I learned that. And that's a good thing. My children, of course, have the background of being, having Chinese and American heritage. I mean, American in the sense that many Americans are immigrants or children of immigrants, or in my case, great-great-grandchildren of immigrants, right? So this is a picture of me and guess who? My husband and my son. So do you think I'm 30? I told you I have been. I've been there. So that is my son. He's already earned his bachelor's and master's degrees, and so he is, he's in the area of auditing and finance. He works. We live in the area called Silicon Valley. Have you heard of this term, Silicon Valley? So San Jose, San Francisco, the area of a lot of high tech. And whether or not you're doing the high-tech stuff, you may work in high-tech industry. So he worked in a high-tech industry. My husband used to work in a high-tech industry, even though they weren't technical engineer types. But of course, everybody has to have jobs to support them, and every job needs money and people to count the money and in the finance area. So that's one of the things that my son does. And everyone needs training, and so my husband was involved in doing program management and setting up training within different companies. So that's my husband. These are my parents. So here's mom and dad at Christmas, just this last Christmas. And aren't they cute? We dressed them up for this picture. How old are my parents? Do you have any idea? 80 years old? Yeah, pretty good guess. Actually, my mother is 98. I know, she looks so young. That's her natural hair. She has all her natural hair. True. No dyeing, natural hair. She's got all her teeth, her own teeth, no false teeth. She has her own eyes. All her body parts belong to her. We didn't exchange any. A lot of people, they have a lot of operation, change new hip and everything. She actually is, and she also, one of the good things is she still has an alert mind, right? So my father is a little bit younger. He's just a young man. He's only 94. Still young, right? So I'm lucky to have a family with longevity. So how long will I live? It's hard to say. So when they've been retired for a long time, and more recently, I convinced them, along with my brothers, to come and live near me. So they don't live with me, but they live in a senior assisted home where they have 3 meals a day of their activities and other, assistance. So they live very close to me, and when I'm here far away in another country, they worry about me. Do you worry about kids? Do your parents worry about you? Yes. Yeah. So they can't hear very well. Their hearing is very, very poor. So my husband would like to be here. He's jealous of me because I tell him stories about what we're doing over here. And so he wishes he were here. And I said, no, you need to be there so you can take the iPad. And then you take the iPad to see my mother and father, and then we do FaceTime. We do video chat. And that way my mother and father can see me. They know I'm still alive and I'm happy. Right? Okay, so we have to make sure that our parents are happy. So here's 4 generations. So you see the 4 generations? You see my mother is there and my daughter. So my daughter, if I'm 30, then she's minus 1. No, she's 31. Yeah, she's going to be 31 this year. And you see the baby? That's my grandson. So last year, I was elevated to the role of grandmother. Maybe one day you too will become a grandmother, but not yet. You still have some time to put in. So there we are. We're 4 generations in this picture. And of course, when my mother is so old, she thinks, why am I, and then she sees the young baby and it makes her happy to have a great grandchild. She says she had to wait for a very long time before she became a grandmother and before she became a great-grandmother, but now she's happy to have all of them. So that's my little family. Oh, one more picture. I'll just show you this. This is a picture of all of my siblings. I have one brother, one sister, and so this is a family picture at the wedding of my daughter, which was about 4 years ago. So this is a rather formal picture. And you see my mother and father both use a walker. They have wheels, because they can't walk by themselves. But we often take them out, roll them around, and if possible, they like to go out because where they live, they have a standard menu for food, but they like to go out for Chinese food. Do any of you like to go out for Chinese food? Anybody here? Yeah? Okay, well, they like to go out for Chinese food. So my husband just texted me and said, oh, I took your parents out for lunch. And I go like, yes, good son-in-law. Right? Yeah. Now, I wanted to let you know, do any of you go on YouTube? Raise your hand if you use YouTube. Anybody use YouTube sometimes? Okay. Oh, yes, okay. All right. Most of the time you're on YouTube, right? And it's a surprise right now you're not on YouTube right now, right? Okay, just because you don't have wireless. But let me let you know, I have a YouTube channel. Do you know that? You found out that I have a YouTube channel? All right. On my YouTube channel, my name is Pronunciation Doctor. Okay? So, when you go on to Pronunciation Doctor Marsha Chan, you will find me and a lot of videos. How many videos do I have? I have over 2,000 videos for learning English. Is that enough for you to start? Yes. Okay, so I stopped counting after 2,000. I just figured, okay, more than 2,000, enough to say. So some of the videos are short and many of them are long because I'm actually teaching my students in class. So some way, in some videos you watch on TV, it's just one way. It's all, but mine, a lot of them are interactive. So when I'm teaching English and then some students have a question, then I can answer that question. And you hear that. And many times they, oh, I have that question too, right? So it's more interactive on some of the videos that are 40 minutes long or 20 minutes long, that you get to see me interact with students, make corrections if they need to, make adjustments, give them advice. So you'll be able to see all kinds of videos there. So make sure that, at break time you check it out. And then later on you have those as your option for increasing your ability to speak clearly. And once you have your students, that you can offer that as well. You can also become a subscriber, and then you will get messages that will let you know when there are new videos coming up. Another site that I would like to let you know about as a resource for you is that I have a blog, and it's called Marsha's Professional Development Blog. So if you write down this HTTP and all that URL, what you see on the screen, then you will be able to see a number of blog posts on my site that would be of interest to you, right? So get that down, and then later on I'm going to show you what some of those blog posts are like, so you can decide if you want to spend any time there. Have you gotten that? Because I'm going on to my next slide. What are we going to do? I hope you guys are an active group. You're not just going to sit down in your chair, right? If I ask you to jump, you will say, okay, how high? Right, okay. Now, I'd like to talk to you about a different way of teaching pronunciation than perhaps you're used to. I want you to think about pronunciation as being something, a multisensory activity. So multisensory, we think about sight, multisensory, visual. You look, you see with your eyes, right? Okay, and of course, we're always talking about pronunciation with hearing. That's one of the perceptions. So this is your auditory perception. Have you got ears? I've got 2 of them. How about you? You too? Okay, good. That's good. So with our ears, what do? We listen, and hopefully we hear. So what is, we listen, that means we attempt to get the information into our auditory receptors. And we hear, meaning we perceive what somebody is actually saying to us, right? And then we also want to think about touch. So touch is tactile, it is kinesthetic, so we want tactile skills that we feel something, and kinesthetic means that we use our body, okay? So we're using our body to have more sensory perception of what we do when we speak, all right? So we don't want to consider pronunciation only here in our mouth. Are you taking a video of me? Yeah? Yeah, you can, it's all right, I don't mind. You know me, I got 2,000 already. So, I don't know, am I shy? Maybe not so, that's okay. But also, there are a number of things on my sites already, so I know sometimes when you're in a session like this, you divide your energy into taking pictures and listening or acting. So I want to let you know that a lot of stuff you'll be able to capture. I mean, I've already captured that. You may access online. So take notes as you like. That's fine. Take pictures if you like, but don't forget to listen, hear, perceive, and move. Okay? So this is my introduction to you on multisensory approach to pronunciation learning. And I am really happy to try to get you moving, motivated to work on different things, right? Now you do have a couple of publications that are going around the room, phrase by phrase pronunciation. The book is going around the room. And then there's English for Child Care is going around the room. That's the yellow book. So the phrase by phrase is that bluish purple book. And their English for Child Care is yellow. English for, how many of you are students of early childhood education? Please raise your hand. Woo-hoo! Yeah! All right, good job. Okay, so I have 2 publications that would be of high interest to you. One of them is called English for Child Care, which is going around the room. And the second one, which is another higher level of English as well as higher level of child development, is called English for Child Development, and that book is green. I didn't bring a copy of that one today, all right? But those are 2 of my publications. And the other thing that's going around the room is called Look in the Lake pronunciation cards. And so we will have an opportunity later on in this workshop to sample some activities and games. You like to play games? Okay, well, we'll do all of that as well. Sunburstmedia.com is where you might be able to, or where you certainly will be able to see a lot of these materials. And also, if you click on the link that says Marsha's presentations, then you'll get a list of, like 300 presentations that I've done in my career since I was 1-year-old until 30. No, just kidding. Right, you said I look 30, right? Okay, so how old am I anyway? 30-something. I guess, right? Because I already revealed to you that I had those children and the grandchildren and so forth. So we'll get to that soon. I want to talk to you about speech production.